Hey there, guys. So I want to thank you once again for taking the time to check out my live stream for the week. So before I do get started, as always, I do want to mention my website. Of course, it's here at the bottom, bponlinefitness.com. So on my website, as always, I keep it updated as much as I can weekly. I am still working to add a few extra features into my website. It does take a little bit of time, but I'm going to add a few new features as I continue to work on it. But just be aware that I have a fitness blog that I post to each week that's on my website. So the way that you can access that is when you go to the website and you click on the three bars at the top, there is a section for the fitness blog. It's really easy. There's a ton of free information there that you can check out. Again, I keep that updated every single week. So usually that gets posted on Fridays. I usually keep that updated every Friday. So definitely check it out. If you are signed up to the email list, I also do send out a reminder or basically a notification of a new blog post being on the website so that you know that it's there and it's available to you to read. That's another thing I usually do to any of my email subscribers. They have that notification sent to them. Another thing related to my website, of course, you can sign up to the email list there, which is where I send out newsletters, reminders of various different things related to online coaching. Again, whether it be the fitness blog, whether it be any promotions that I may be having at the moment, or it could be anything related to my live streams, reminders of those. I usually send out usually the day before. So definitely check out the website again. It's bponlinefitness.com. You can learn more about online coaching there. You can also schedule your consultation when you click the Join Now button at the top of the website. Well, again, check that out. There's a ton of free stuff on there that you can check out and a lot of information. So I have that for you guys if you want to check it out and learn more about online coaching. Another thing I do want to mention before I get into the live stream is that, or the topic for today, is that I do have a new YouTube video that should be posted today. I've been working on it the past few weeks. I've been a little bit behind on it, but I do have a YouTube video that will likely be posted today. I've been trying to finish it up this week, but be sure to watch out for that video. In this video, I'm basically going to be going over basically more advanced dumbbell-based workouts. Um, these are basically in the same vein as like the how-to videos that I've done on my YouTube channel. This is just a new version of that series of videos that I've been doing. But I'm going to be going over three different sort of dumbbell-based workouts that are more advanced versus the other how-to videos I've done. The video is probably about going to be about 5 to 6 minutes long, very short video, but there's a lot of information on there. So I'll have that uploaded very soon, likely by the end of the day today. So check that out. The live stream will also be posted today, so you can watch it on the website as well as on my YouTube channel. Which, if you want more information on my YouTube channel, just reach out to me and I can give you that link. But with all that being said, guys, let's go ahead and talk about today's topic, which is fitness tech and gadgets. So this is not really a topic I've really went into detail with. And sort of like I mentioned in the previous videos or in the previous live streams, I've wanted to go a little bit more into detail about different topics as it relates to fitness and dive a little bit deeper into those topics. And another thing I do try to really zero in on with these live streams is to give you guys something that you can start out with today, something that is easy for you to gradually build a habit into. And this is no exception. There's a lot of great information from this video, and I think you'll find it helpful if you are new to sort of anything related to fitness, or if you're new to using fitness as it relates to maybe like a fitness tracker or using a fitness app. I do have quite a bit of experience with this sort of topic. So let's go ahead and get started with today's topic. So, what exactly is fitness tech and gadgets? So, in today's world, the intersection of fitness and technology has revolutionized how we approach health and wellness. So, enthusiasts and professionals alike are leveraging cutting edge gadgets to enhance their workouts, track progress, and optimize their overall fitness journey. So, what we're going to be talking about today, some of the few topics that are going to be discussed, is wearable technology and exercise. So, things like Fitbit, which is what I have with me right now. Fitness apps you should try out. There's various different fitness apps that I've mentioned in the past, and some other live streams, but I do want to touch on a few of those today. Heart rate and sleep monitoring, how they can be beneficial to staying on track towards your fitness goal. So basically, the topic really is all about how you can use all of this technology, all of this stuff that we have around us, how we can use it to leverage us into reaching our fitness goal. So, the next point here is, or the main sort of topic we're talking about first, is going to be wearable technology for exercise. So, when it comes to wearable technology for exercise, there's various different types of technology outside of just the fitness trackers themselves. So, wearable technology for fitness refers to electronic devices that can be worn on the body to track and improve health and fitness. These devices integrate sensors, data analysis, and often connectivity features to monitor various aspects of physical activity, health metrics, and overall well being. So, fitness trackers, those are devices like a Fitbit, Garmin, and they track steps, distance, calories burned, and sometimes heart rate. Fitness trackers are a little bit more, I would say that they're more of a condensed version from other devices such as the Apple Watch. Um, I'm a little bit more partial when it comes to fitness trackers because I like to have one device that focuses on that particular thing. And I used to use an Apple Watch for the longest time, and I still have my Apple Watch. But the problem that I had with that was that the watch itself was a little bit too bulky, and so the reason why I sort of transitioned to Fitbit is I wanted something that's not too much on my wrist, something that can do a lot of the basic stuff that I needed to do, such as tracking workouts, tracking intensity, tracking steps, heart rate, basic stuff that I can easily get and I can connect to my phone and get that data quickly. But the reason why I had transitioned from an Apple Watch to a Fitbit was because I was more focused on the fitness aspect. I didn't use it so much for anything else except for the fitness aspect. And don't get me wrong, Apple Watch does have a ton of different, you know, different fitness based things. The only problem I had with that was that I wanted it to be a little bit more of a slim design because I felt like it was not doing well just being on my wrist with it being, a little bit blocky on my wrist. So that's why I sort of transitioned to just a basic fitness tracker is because I just wanted something that, can move with me a little bit better. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you choose any particular device, especially when you're focusing on you know, fitness tracking itself. If you're not wanting to use it for all the extra stuff, just focus on what you want to use it for. And so again, that's why I transitioned to this. I use a lot of Apple products. And I'm not saying anything bad about the Apple Watch. It's just too bulky for, trying to track exercises, in my opinion. So let's go to the next point here, which kind of goes into what I just talked about, which is advanced wearables. Again, advanced wearables are a little bit different. They're different than fitness trackers. So you have some of the basic Fitbit sort of fitness trackers, and then you have advanced wearables, which are basically like Apple Watches. Fitbit does have more advanced trackers in the same vein as Apple Watches, um, and they have a different name. I forget. I think they're called Sense. You've got Apple Watch, you've got the Galaxy Watch, I think is what it is, or the one of those devices I know are more geared towards using it as a clock and using it for various different things outside of just fitness itself. So just know that the more advanced wearables are going to integrate a little bit more different technology. You're going to be using a ton of different apps on those types of devices outside of just focusing specifically on fitness tracking. You're using it as a watch, or you're using it as a clock, you're using it as, something to send text messages, things of that nature. So just keep in mind that if you're wanting something that is more well-rounded and is not primarily focused on the fitness aspect of it, you may want something in that sort of realm. Another thing too, and it should be heart rate monitor there, and I've got here, but a heart rate monitor is a wearable sensor that measures your heart rate in real time during exercise. These are completely different than a fitness tracker and an advanced wearable, whereas these are more something almost like something that you would strap to your body in order to, measure you know, heart rate as a metric itself. So it's a little bit different than talking about anything related to a fitness tracker or an advanced wearable like an Apple Watch. So just sort of know the difference between these devices. Again, keep in mind that you want to focus on having something that works well for you, something that is more geared towards your goal. So the next point I want to talk about here is some fitness apps that you could try out. A lot of these are free. I have used a few of these. Um, and these are some apps that you can just check out and see if these can be beneficial for you, no matter what you're focusing on. Some of these apps are a little bit more partial to specific things. So, for example, MyFitnessPal, this is an app I use daily. I use this app all the time. This is more geared towards tracking your nutrition. It can also track your exercises. And I'm going to talk a little bit about MyFitnessPal on this next slide because I have a little bit more experience with this app. But it is more focused on your nutrition side of things, tracking individual meals and things of that nature. I don't want to talk too much into detail about that because I do have a slide where I want to go a little bit further into it. Nike Training Club's another app, and then you've got Calm, Starvia, Fitbod, and of course there's more apps out there. So for Nike Training Club, this is more focused on, I know that I believe I've used this app in the past at once, and this involves more of, tracking walking and running, things of that nature. This is more exercise focused, of course, tracking various metrics of that sort of, you know, tracking distance, things of that nature. The same thing with Starvia. It's sort of the same sort of aspect where you're tracking your distance, sort of mapping out your walk, things of that nature. That's what you're kind of going to get on Nike Trading Club and Starvia. Calm, this is an app I've used myself. I do have experience with this app. And basically, what Calm is it is more of focusing on mindfulness. I know this is somewhat outside of the fitness side of things, but it still sort of has a connection to fitness, and that mindfulness can be helpful to sort of keep you centered and to keep you on track towards your goal. Great way to sort of stay motivated. I've used Calm before. It's a good app. If maybe you struggle with mindset or anything of that sort, this can be an app that can help you. Keep in mind that some of these apps do have a subscription plan, so some of them may require you to pay extra to use specific features, so that's just something else to keep in mind. Fitbod is more focused on exercise from what I know, but just keep in mind that these apps are all, really what you want to use is specific to your goal. So you don't necessarily have to use all of these apps, but just use the apps that are you're more focused on. Again, MyFitnessPal, I think, is a really essential app for anybody who is wanting to keep a track of their nutrition. So that's when I do highly recommend. Again, you don't have to track nutrition this way. There's multiple ways to track nutrition. But what I'm trying to say is there's different ways that you can use these apps, which a lot of these are free. MyFitnessPal is free, except they do have a subscription plan, but you can do a lot of just the basic stuff. Like what I use, I don't pay for the subscription plan at all. And I have a lot of features that I use on it. Tracking just basic meals, things of that nature, you can do all in MyFitnessPal without having to subscribe to it. So just sort of keep that in mind that some of these do have that sort of, purchasing plan with them. So MyFitnessPal, like I mentioned, I sort of just kind of went into it and discussed it, but I just want to give you a really detailed example of what this app is. So basically, what MyFitnessPal is it's a comprehensive calorie and nutrition tracking, extensive food database, exercise log, and barcode scanner. So this is all that you can do with MyFitnessPal. So this is best for those looking to manage their diet and track their calorie intake alongside their workouts. So the pros of MyFitnessPal is it's easy to use. There's a large food database you can search through. You can integrate it with many other fitness apps and devices. The cons are some advanced features, of course, require a premium subscription. So, like the barcode scanner, I know that you have to have a subscription in order to use that. That's a really cool feature. And, again, if this is something that you're really serious about and you want to get the most out of the app, then definitely subscribe to it. I wouldn't think that it would be a bad investment. But just sort of keep in mind that, certain features you do have to pay for. But overall, like I've had experience with this app for quite a while. I've been using it for a while to track my nutrition daily. And a lot of the really basic features work well without you having to pay for it. I get everything that I need, such as like my macro intake, my overall macro intake from MyFitnessPal, my overall calorie intake, things of that nature. You can also track your water intake in there as well. That's another thing I forgot to mention. But all the basic stuff you can do in MyFitnessPal. So it's definitely worth using if you're really serious about getting started with your fitness journey and getting started with tracking nutrition. Again, it's really more geared towards the nutrition aspect of things. However, I know that you can track various exercises and things of that nature in the app as well. So that's just an example that I wanted to sort of get into to give you an idea on what the app actually does. And you can go through and search these apps on the App Store. I'm sure they're on Google as well. But those are just some examples that you can try out. So the next one, or the next point, I should say, that I'm going to discuss here is heart rate monitors. And this is sort of expanding on the sort of wearables and the devices that we just talked about in the slide before talking about MyFitnessPal. So heart rate monitors and their effectiveness. So effective heart rate monitors are essential tools for fitness tracking, offering insights into your cardiovascular health, workout intensity, and overall fitness progress. So there's various different types of heart rate monitors. Optical heart rate monitor is using LEDs and photodiodes to measure changes in blood flow under the skin, common in wrist-worn devices like fitness trackers and smartwatches. So for example, if you're using like a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, they do a very similar thing. Is a lot of times on your device, you'll see like a little light that will blink. It's like a green light, usually that'll sort of flash. That is the optical heart rate monitor. It's basically like a little LED light that is sort of detecting various things like under the skin, detecting your heart rate and then your blood flow and things of that nature. That's what that little LED, if you see a green flashing from your device, that's what that is. This is an optical heart rate monitor. Electrical heart rate monitoring uses electrodes to detect the electrical signals of your heart, found in chest strap monitors, providing more precise readings. Now, These types of monitors, of course, are more focused on more health facility based devices, something that you wouldn't necessarily go off and get at the store, I guess I should say. These are more something that is, sort of maybe doctor recommended or something to that effect. These are devices outside of, using just a normal fitness tracker that does the, basic measurements of heart rate, whereas the electrical heart rate monitoring is more detailed and giving you more, you know, it's going to be probably a little bit more accurate than a regular optical heart rate monitor. So that's sort of the difference there. So sleep tracking. This is usually, before I get into this in itself, a lot of devices as it relates to any sort of advanced wearable devices like Apple Watches, and fitness trackers as well, like Fitbit, they're going to have this integrated likely into their apps or their applications themselves in the tracking aspect. So we talked about heart rate monitors. We talked about, different apps that you can use. And we also talked about basically how you can use these specific apps to do, specific things, whether it be fitness and nutrition. So one thing that you can actually do with a lot of these apps, and this can be beneficial to track, is sleep tracking. Again, these are provided with a lot of apps. Fitbit, I know if you use the Fitbit watch or any of the Fitbit watches, they do have a way for you to track your sleep. You can go into the app and it keeps a record of your sleep. Another thing, Apple Watch does a very similar thing. But keep in mind that this can be a very valuable metric to keep track of. A lot of people are not aware of how important sleep can be when it relates to a fitness goal. So, if you are somebody who may be struggling with your fitness journey at the moment, you may be struggling with trying to, maybe you're struggling with muscle gain and you may be doing really well with your fitness routine and you may be doing pretty well with your nutrition, but your sleep has been lacking. So, being aware of your sleep and monitoring your sleep can be very helpful. If you are plateauing at a certain part in your fitness journey and you're not really sure why you're doing all these things, sleep can be an aspect that you may be lacking and that may be affecting your progress. And I want to mention that because a lot of people don't consider sleep. Yes, they may consider the workouts themselves, they may consider nutrition, but sleep and recovery are very, very important, and they're just as important as all the other aspects of, your workout routine. So, sleep tracking and fitness are closely interconnected, as the quality and duration of your sleep significantly impact your physical performance, recovery, and overall health. During your sleep, your body repairs muscles, synthesizes proteins, and release growth hormones, which are crucial for muscle recovery and growth. Adequate sleep enhances cognitive function, reaction times, and physical performance. Lack of sleep can lead to decreased coordination, endurance, and strength. So just keep that in mind. If you're at a difficult point in your journey and you're not sure, you feel like you're really narrowed down with your workouts, you've narrowed down on your nutrition, recovery and sleep could be something that you need to watch for and that you need to pay attention to because it can really affect your progress. And the reason why I mention that and why I'm really sort of going into detail about this is because it's just as important and a lot of people forget that. So the next thing I do want to mention is how there are various different integrations with other technology as it relates to sort of fitness trackers and any sort of fitness based wearables, advanced wearables. So, again, there's various different devices that are interconnected. And I sort of talked about a little bit with the Fitbit app and things of that nature. And that's where this is going to sort of get into. So, some of the integrations that can go along with some of your devices, basically fitness trackers or wearable sort of devices is that there is smart home integration. So you can sync basically different devices with like such as a smart scale. So like a weight scale that may have extra, basically extra things that can be done with it as it relates to the technology in them. Voice assistants, various different things you can integrate with your basic wearables. Another thing to keep in mind is to these are integrated with health platforms like Apple Health. There's a specific platform that on like Apple Watch devices that has Apple Health where you can keep track of all of your various metrics and data from the watch are going into that application themselves. The same with Fitbit, which is basically Google. Google and Fitbit are both, they're sort of basically the same entity at this point. So there's a Fitbit app that I use daily, and it gives me all the information, giving me a quick overview of my steps and basically everything, sleep tracking, food. You can also integrate, I know for a fact you can integrate MyFitnessPal with the Fitbit app, and it will automatically put your calorie intake into the Fitbit app. So it's like all in one area. So that's another thing to keep in mind. But just keep in mind that these are all integrated. It's very, connected. So if you're used to tracking just stuff with doing it manually, this is a very helpful thing. You get all your data all in one place and it's just all integrated in one. So depending on what device you get, usually there is an application that will keep track of that. Sharing progress and joining challenges and support networks. So if you struggle with, you're struggling with your journey and you're struggling to reach your goal, a lot of these devices have ways to where I know there's like social media apps that you can use that connect to these devices, and you can also connect with other people who maybe are in the same boat, who may be on a fitness journey, and they are looking for encouragement from other people, I should say. So you can also do that with these devices. There's a ton of different things that you can do and a ton of ways that you can leverage these to sort of help keep you on track. So, future trends in fitness tech. So, as you know, technology is continuing to grow. As an online coach myself, I have to adapt to a lot of things, not just as it relates to, fitness itself, but as it relates to technology in general, as it relates to social media. There's a lot of things that I have to adapt to make sure that I'm on track with everything that's happening and everything new that's coming out in the fitness realm as well as technology. So, artificial intelligence and machine learning, big thing that's happening now is artificial intelligence. There's enhanced personalization and insights that come from that. Virtual reality and augmented reality, where you have more immersive workout experiences from home. Tons of different devices out there. For example, you have devices sort of like Pelotons and I think there's a workout device I know that's called Tonal, and it's basically like these really smart sort of workout equipment. You can, sort of speak to an instructor over a screen. Um, Ton of different devices. I know that is outside of virtual reality, but it's sort of in that same realm where it's a more immersive and interactive experience. Advanced biometrics, more detailed health and fitness tracking, glucose monitoring. Biometrics is more focused on sort of things related to wearable technology. So anything with biometrics is anything that is sort of basically biometrics is more focused on tracking various sort of specific data like your heart rate, like, blood pressure. Those different things is what biometrics basically is. And basically, this new advanced technology is allowing you to track a lot of different things outside of just the basic heart rate. You've got glucose monitoring now. I know there is a device out there that I've seen that can actually detect, that has been approved to detect like atrial fibrillation, which is like a your heart rate, abnormal heart rate. So I know there's a device out there that can connect to your smartphone, and that is approved. I want to say that it's been approved by a government agency. But there's a ton of various different devices that are coming out day to day. And as you know, technology goes really quick and it's really fast paced. But I just want to show you or share with you some of the various new things that are coming out as it relates to this technology and how it's connected to fitness. Alrighty, so that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I want to thank you, as always, for taking time to watch these live streams. And again, I hope that you like sort of the change with diving a little bit deeper into some of these topics. Again, I want to continue to do this sort of deep dive, and especially when it comes to integration with fitness and technology, um, because I love both of these topics. Anything related to the connection of those is, something that, I love to learn about and I love to share with you guys. And especially with me being an online coach and certified trainer, this is stuff that is in my realm, fitness and tech. It's just in that sort of same, that's my realm that I'm in because that's what I do. But I want to give you guys some advice and some ways that you can use a lot of this stuff. Again, it's a lot of this. Of course, there are devices you have to pay for, but a lot of devices or a lot of applications like on the App Store, you can get those free and start using those today. And you can think about maybe if you want to get like any of these fitness trackers, anything like that, you can sort of research that a little bit more and decide from there. Again, I'm not saying that you have to necessarily have this stuff at all, but you can use this stuff to help you. Again, Fitbit, I feel like has been really cool. It's helped me with keeping track of a lot of my various things as far as it relates to fitness, nutrition and my water intake. A lot of that I track with using some of these apps. So use this stuff, especially if it's free, use it to your advantage and, you know, allow it to be a way for you to sort of build a new healthy habit. Because we're always looking at our phones or anything of that sort. So use it, leverage what you have and use it, to your advantage. And that's what I want to get across here. Again, you don't have to purchase any of this stuff. I'm just giving you advice on what you can do and how you can use this stuff to your advantage. So thank you again for watching. And if you do have any questions, do have any feedback on what I discussed today, you can go to my email address. It's Brandon Part, or excuse me, I've got my website email address. So my email address is brandonparton95@gmail.com. I accidentally have my website there again. So it's brandonparton95@gmail.com. It's a really easy email address. My phone number is 931-434-6880. I apologize for some of the typos that I have. Sometimes that happens with some of these presentations I do. The website I have, of course, is bponlinefitness.com. Again, you can check that out. Ton of information there for you to access. And, if you want to learn more about online coaching, you can schedule your consultation there. But thank you guys again for taking the time to check out this live stream. I hope you find it helpful and valuable. Again, I will have another live stream next week. I'm going to be diving into a little bit about nutrition in this next live stream. I will have that event posted pretty soon. But thank you guys once again. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next live stream next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So thank